Can you share a bit about your background?
Okay, so I was born in Korea, but I grew up in the UK. I moved to the UK when I was 6 years old. And I initially did an undergrad degree in music. And then through looking at lots of opera, which was my main interest, I realized that my interest is really in the visuals, not the music. And so that led me to do a master's in film studies. And then whilst doing my master's, I realized Korean cinema is very hot at the moment, and I became interested in Korean cinema. And that's how I transitioned to East Asian Studies for my PhD.
What inspired you to specialize in Korean studies?
So this is kind of linking on the story from the previous question. But through kind of becoming interested in Korean cinema, I entered East Asian Studies. And then during my PhD, I realized that actually I don't know very much about Korea. So because I was in an East Asian Studies department, not a film studies department, I had to learn a lot about Korean history, its politics, and kind of just the basic knowledge that I think I did not have. And through that, I think there was a little bit of identity searching that happened as well. For any kind of, I think, Korean who is a 1.5 generation or second, third generation, there is always that tie to the homeland or the home country. And I think a part of that played an interest in me kind of navigating towards the East Asian studies and Korean studies in particular.
What courses do you teach at UBC?
So at UBC at the moment, this semester I taught a course called Introduction to Korean Cinema, and that's a historical survey of Korean cinema from kind of early 1900s until recently. That is hopefully going to be a repeating course. And then next semester I'll introduce another course that will be another repeating course. That course is titled Modern Korean History Through Film. And it kind of goes hand in hand with Introduction to Korean Cinema. So Introduction to Korean Cinema is looking at different time periods of Korean modern history from 1900s onwards in terms of film policy and the film trends. Whereas this other course that I'm offering, Korean History Through Film, is looking at marker moments of Korean history and looking at what those events were, how they shaped society, and then how that representation appears in culture. So if you take both courses, then surprisingly, hopefully there will not be a lot of overlap. And the idea is that you should have a good understanding of kind of film development from an industrial perspective, plus a historical development really from a Korean history perspective. Those are the two courses that I'm offering next semester. And then eventually down the line, I do hope to offer a monsters course. So I love monster films, one of many genres that I like. So hopefully in the summer semester I'll be introducing monsters of Korean cinema or monsters of Asian cinema. I haven't quite decided yet. Where we'll be looking at kind of theories about why we are drawn to horror films and what about monster films in particular. And then linked to that we'll be looking at lots of different monster flicks. And then eventually down the line I'm also hoping to offer a course on diaspora as well. So diasporic filmmaking is something that I'm interested in.
What aspects of Korean culture are you most passionate about and why?
I like all culture, not just Korean culture. So I think I grew up watching a lot of films in general. I still watch a lot of films, but nowadays I have to confess that Netflix has kind of taken over my life as well. I like watching everything. In terms of Korean content specifically, I do watch a lot of K-drama at the moment. But you know, I go through phases. And then, you know, I think K-drama will be something that will be always in my life, but I still obviously watch a lot of Korean films too, and genre films relatively. I don't know, I can't really answer that question. I love all culture.
Outside of academia, what are your interests or hobbies?
This is always a difficult question for me because I don't really have hobbies. I think I'm one of those people where I like the work, I like hanging out with my friends outside work, but I think the work itself is pretty exciting for me. So I get to watch a lot of films or culture and write about it. So a paper I'm working on right now is on the film Past Lives and Elemental, the Pixar film, because I loved both of them. So I guess my hobby is film watching and I get to make that into my work. So I'm very lucky.
Thank you.
All right.